So the poly ministry was the first ministry. So they met a few students and I was one of them. The ministry was initiated by Reverend Dr. Chan Chong-hyuk, today the president of the East Asia School of Theology, and his wife Margaret Chan. And they just started a discipleship group. And as we Bible study, he challenged us and says, hey, why don't we, through this embryonic group, start the poly ministry and register it as an official society within the Singapore Polytechnic and have recognition so that we can use the facilities. And then have the students, we have AGM, we have all the things that you started the ministry with. And so it grew from there. At that time was the Prince Edward campus, which today is called the Best Way Building. And it was the first Polytechnic campus. That place we converted to a whole evangelistic place. We set up a stage for the cross and they performed. And they were performing pop music. And so the poly students in the 70s were quite a rowdy bunch. We saw the hands of the Lord move in a fantastic way. People were just, accepting Christ, prayer to prayer of conversion. We gave the false spiritual law away. We shared with everybody who was willing to listen. And I think hundreds, if not thousands, were converted. And we had to disciple them. So after I graduated, like all poly students, we have to go to the military. So I went to the military. I was a national serviceman. Like all, I went to officer cadet school. And so the only way to serve in the military ministry, to do what we do, we have to be a uniformed person. I decided to give my life to God and serve 5 years and joined and became an associate staff of Campus Crusade. In the past, national servicemen, they would have to stay in camp. We had the Great Commission singers who came. It's an American performing group. And then these American girls will be on stage performing in a military camp. And we had 1,000 people sitting on the stage, all in military uniform, with a commanding officer sitting in front, and all the officers sitting in front. And again, we have, I can't remember how many who accepted Christ as Lord and Savior that night. Now, we're facing a lot more challenging world. So focusing on our strength, which is campus student, but ultimately we must recognize that whoever we train, the real effort is in the marketplace. So the campus market is just a transitional point. They will have to go out to the working world, and that is where they spend the bulk of their time in. And that is where they can make impact for God and be effective. The campus is not the end point, it's the starting point. That's why when our students graduate, it's not called a graduating ceremony anymore. It's called a commencement exercise. It's the beginning in the marketplace. So likewise, if Cru students graduate from the campus ministry or the poly ministry, is a commencement of what you've learned to apply in the real world for Jesus.